He brought his lover to our anniversary dinner, so I made her my business partner. I still remember that evening like a scar that never fades. The restaurant was warm, filled with golden light, soft music and laughter. It was our 20th wedding anniversary. I wore a black satin dress that my husband Mark had bought for me last Christmas. I had spent the whole afternoon curling my hair, choosing perfume, and trying to look perfect for him. I believed that night was going to be special, maybe a chance to bring back the love we had somehow lost in between years of routines and silence. But fate had prepared something else, something that would burn everything I believed in. Mark walked in 15 minutes late. He looked sharp, his grey suit matching his silver watch. I smiled when I saw him, but my smile froze when I noticed a woman walking beside him. She was young, maybe 10 years younger than me, with red lips and a confident smile. Mark held her hand lightly as they approached the table. My heart started beating faster, but I still tried to hide my confusion. I told myself maybe she was a colleague or someone from his office. But deep down, something sharp already started cutting inside me. He hugged me quickly, not the way he used to. Then he looked at her and said, "Linda, meet Claire. She's been helping me with the new project." His voice sounded casual, almost rehearsed. Linda smiled at me and extended her hand. "Happy anniversary," she said like it was some cruel joke. I forced a smile back and shook her hand. It felt cold, calculated. The dinner began with fake laughter and tasteless small talk. I kept watching them, the way their eyes met, the way he leaned closer when she spoke. Every touch of his hand on hers was like a knife twisting deeper inside my chest. I realized then, my husband had brought his lover to our anniversary dinner. My world didn't explode that night, it just went silent. A cold silence that told me everything was over. After dinner, when we got home, I didn't scream or cry. I stood in front of the mirror and stared at myself for a long time. I saw a woman who had given her best years to a man who no longer saw her. I saw wrinkles he never noticed, sacrifices he never appreciated. That night I decided something inside me had to die too, the part that begged for love. But instead of breaking, I planned to rise, quietly and powerfully. The next morning, Mark behaved as if nothing had happened. He even asked me to make his coffee before leaving for work. I smiled and did it, acting like the same old wife he thought he controlled. But my mind was already working. I wanted revenge, not through screaming or tears, but through calm, strategic destruction. For the next few days, I began researching everything about Linda, her social media, her business interests, her hobbies. I found out she was trying to start her own interior design company but lacked financial backing. She had the ideas but not the money. I smiled. That was going to be my way in. 1 week later, I called her. She was surprised, maybe even scared. I told her I wanted to meet her, that I had a proposal. She hesitated, but curiosity won. We met at a coffee shop downtown. She arrived looking nervous, pretending to be polite. I told her I admired her work, that I was interested in investing in her business. Her eyes lit up like a child's. She didn't see revenge in my smile, only opportunity. That was her mistake. Mark never knew about that meeting. Over the next few weeks, Linda and I became business partners. I invested money, she brought her designs. Slowly, she started trusting me, telling me stories about her life, her ambitions, even her feelings for Mark. She thought she was confiding in a friend. Every time she spoke his name with affection, I kept my calm smile, while inside I was burning the map of his world piece by piece. I played my part perfectly. I praised her ideas, supported her decisions, and slowly made her business grow. We started getting clients, and soon her confidence turned into arrogance. She began treating me like an investor who didn't understand art. She even joked once that she had both Mark and the business under her control. That's when I knew it was time to strike. Behind her back, I changed the business registration, moved all contracts under a new company in my name, and made sure all clients' payments went directly to me. I had the paperwork, the proof, and her digital signature, something she had given me trustingly while signing routine documents. When she finally discovered what I had done, it was too late. I owned everything she had built. I remember the day she came to my office, her face pale and shaking. "You can't do this to me," she shouted. I looked at her calmly and said, "You did this to yourself the day you sat at my anniversary dinner." Her silence was louder than any scream. She left, and I knew she would go straight to Mark. That evening he came storming into the house, furious. "What did you do to her?" he yelled. I didn't flinch. "I did to her what you did to me. I took everything she thought was hers." He didn't have a reply. For the first time he saw the woman he had underestimated. The same woman who used to wait for him with dinner now sat across from him, calm, cold, untouchable. He tried to justify himself, said it was just a mistake, that it meant nothing, but I had stopped listening long ago. His words were just noise. After that day I stopped cooking for him, stopped asking where he went, stopped caring. My silence hurt him more than my anger ever could. Within months, Linda left the city, her business destroyed, her name blacklisted. Mark tried to repair our marriage, but I was no longer the woman who begged for his love. I became the woman who owned her pain and turned it into power. 6 months later, I turned the company into a full-fledged design brand. It grew fast because I poured all my energy into it. Every piece of furniture we sold carried my new identity, strong, elegant, and unbreakable. People started recognizing my work. Interviews came, awards followed. I smiled through them all, knowing that every success I earned was built over the ashes of betrayal. Mark still lived in the same house, but we were strangers now. We shared walls, not hearts. He tried many times to start conversations, to make me remember the old days, but I didn't. I wasn't interested in memories that once killed me. One evening, as I was preparing to leave for an award function, he said, "You've changed so much, Claire." I looked at him in the mirror and replied, "No, Mark, I just stopped pretending I was happy." That was the last real conversation we had. Years passed. Linda never came back, and Mark slowly faded into his own guilt. When people asked why I didn't leave him, I said, because I didn't need to. I already left him emotionally the night he brought her to my anniversary dinner. My revenge wasn't about destroying them. It was about rebuilding myself so completely that they became irrelevant. I didn't scream, didn't fight, didn't beg. I simply became everything they said I couldn't be. Now, whenever I pass by that restaurant where everything began, I don't feel anger anymore. I feel gratitude. That night showed me who they were, but it also showed me who I could become. It gave birth to the strongest version of me, a woman who doesn't cry over betrayal but builds empires out of broken promises. Sometimes when I stand in my office surrounded by people who respect me, I think of Linda's first words to me that night, "Happy anniversary." Maybe it really was happy, just not in the way she meant it. It was the anniversary of my awakening, the day my pain transformed into power. And that is how I learned the most powerful truth of all. Revenge doesn't always need blood or chaos. Sometimes it only needs silence, strategy, and the courage to smile while the world that hurt you burns behind you.